Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the ESL Arena in Katowice. This is the ESL One Cologne offline qualifier. If you did miss the last game, we did see Dignitas throwing the monkey of yesterday off of their back in a hard-fought brawl on Nuke of all maps. They did come out on top. It wasn't a huge margin, but they will move forward. Well, this next game is going to be an interesting one as well. We move on to the winners pool now, and the last time these two teams played in any shape or form was actually back in November. It was HellRaisers who took it 16-3 on Overpass, but much has changed since then. This was back when HellRaisers had Kusha and Simple in the lineup, and this is back when G2 were Titan. And of course, that was a very different team in a very different time. Yesterday, of course, strong performance coming out from HellRaisers against Splice. We saw them manage to pretty much take control of that game and move ahead. And for G2, much the same after early hiccups against Tyloo. They had Scream, they had Shocks, both firing. But the question is today, will they be at the same performance and will it be enough? Alex, take it away, my friend. Let's get into this one head first.
All of the questions that I plan to throw at the people to my left. I've got Metis and Vendetta standing by. It's going to have to be a quick one, as always, as these guys are already raring to go. They've been warming up throughout the previous match. So, Vendetta, Metis, let's try and get our heads around where we think HellRaisers are now. Because G2, it does seem like it's kind of going without saying in their current form. So let's focus what little time we have on the HellRaisers. The Raisers of Hell. Vince, back to your point you made right at the start of the day when you found out, that you'd be on the desk for this segment. You said this is going to be a huge game. Yep. I want you to highlight why you believe HellRaisers have the form to question the good-looking G2.
It's really tough for me to see that HellRaisers can win this game, but I think it's going to be competitive. For me, it all rests on not Oscar, because I assume he's going to perform. Yes. It rests on the supporting characters in this story. It rests on the likes of Stico, Zero. These guys are capable of greatness, but we don't often see it at LAN. So this is the moment they need to shine. If they do, this is going to be a very competitive game. If they don't, I don't think Oscar can 1v5.
Yeah, no, I think he's absolutely correct. It's going to have to be the entire team. It can't be Oscar going complete God mode, because I don't think it's going to be enough against the current form of G2, especially Shoxy and Scream. Because they've been playing lights out as of late, and to kind of counterbalance that, you need everyone from HellRaisers to step up.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Shoxy and Scream. Last time I started bringing up Shoxy and Scream, you added a third name to that list.
RPK.
Now, why is that? The tank is back?
The tank is back, which makes me super happy because as an old Source player, he was one of the guys. Like, he was one of the ones you looked up to. He could do no wrong. And after the lineup change, it just seems like RPK has gotten a lot of confidence back. He's just back to his old self. So what we actually saw at the end before he actually quit and went into retirement the first time, which was around DreamHack Winter 2013, when you were finally seeing him, evolving into that final form. Now we're finally getting a bit of a taste of that, so that's really fun to see.
And of course, I mean, it would be silly not to mention the remaining two names. Now, Smith has been under a lot of fire recently. Has there been any development there? Because he seems so comfortable within this team. This team is getting better and better. And I would assume that with someone that we hired to being a crux of G2, he'd have to be improving for this correlation to make sense. Has there been an improvement, Metis, do you think?
I feel there has been. It just hasn't been as much in the forefront as the likes of Scream and Shocks, who are landing the crazy highlight reel stuff. Smith has been chugging along, especially depending on the maps. You look at Dust2, Smith's Playground. He can actually do a lot of work there for G2. So I think it completely depends on how this veto goes. Both teams actually wouldn't be too bothered at playing Dust2, in my opinion. I think that HellRaisers are very solid on that map. On both the CT and the T side, they're super aggressive. So this veto is going to answer a lot of the questions I have in my mind, at least.
Well, they're going to start getting answered right here, right now. G2 chose to remove Mirage straight out of the gate, and Vendetta, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, standard veto really coming out from them, and HellRaisers doing the same thing with Train. I think I actually agree with what Vince said. I think it's very likely that we're going to see either Dust2 or Cash, because that's the two most played maps already. There you go. HellRaisers, even though this is one of their better maps, it is really where G2 has dominated people as of late. So they feel like they don't want to go up against that, and I can definitely understand that. Cobblestone being taken out, that's also a map that HellRaisers like to play quite a bit. I'm assuming the next veto is going to be Overpass coming in from G2, and there we go.
Then surely Nuke.
Yeah, and then the Nuke, HellRaisers haven't played it, at least not to my knowledge. They've banned it out in previous matchups, so this should be Dust2.
Yep.
Now, G2 played chicken there. G2 did play chicken. They left Nuke in as the final two and threw it into HellRaisers' court. Had HellRaisers done some homework, That could have been a
Could
bit
be
of
very interesting.
That could have got interesting
It's
fast.
kind of what happened with Dignitas, judging from the interview as well. They were
yeah?
like, we counter-stratted these, we wanted them to pick the map, but Nuke came up. Obviously, Dignitas were up to the task, but in this game, I think Dust2 actually, from a spectatorial viewpoint, is maybe going to be the best map to watch. Both these teams are really solid on Dust2, but this is it. We spoke about Scream and Shocks, sick players. RPK, sick. Smiths has to step up here, because Oscar will clean house if you don't deal with him. He will wreck on Dust2.
Awesome. So basically, the storyline coming into this is, you know, often described as the weakest player of G2, going up against one of the players that's been highlighted as the up-and-comer, the player to watch with the AWP role. And now they're going to clash on Dust2, a map which, I mean, we've already said is Smith's best. This turns out it could be a fantastic game. It's time for predictions, folks. What do we think? Are you starting with Smiths? You're starting with Oscar. What are we thinking?
I'm siding with Smiths and his band of brothers. So I believe the G2 are too hot right now.
Believing in G2. And then, of course, we are going to be seeing the battle for sides as they do stab each other. Metis, why don't you give me your thoughts?
I would go along with Vendetta. I think this could be the match of the day. I said at the start of the day, and I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to go with G2, but I could see it being like a 16-13, 16-14, like a real close one.
Not forgetting we are in the winners side of things. We've had our 4 losers games, and so everyone now from competing now until the end of the show is sitting 1-0. They've already got that 1 win under their belt, and the winner of this will then sit in that beautiful position coming into Saturday where they're 1 map away from the major. It's going to be so damn important for these 2 teams to come and fire on all cylinders right out of the gate. It's time, though, for it to get underway. G2 are looking to try and make it 2-0, and battling up against them is going to be the Raisers of Hell. Let's get into this one as we dive into our 5th game of the day.
Thank you, Alex. And yeah, this is going to be a good game. These 2 teams going head-to-head was always going to provide a pretty interesting matchup. And of course, I have the delightful Natu with me. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, it should be a good one, definitely, especially on a map like Dust2. We know HellRaisers really like this map, as does G2.
Yep.
What I'm really looking forward to is HellRaisers always has this super aggression they like to throw at their opponents, especially on the CT side, especially on the first first 8 rounds or so of the CT half. So let's see how G2 is able to handle it. Well, when you think of handling it, has to be said, Shocks and Scream has been just, causing havoc everywhere, left and right and center.
Yep.
Whatever they touch seems to be working out. So I think it's going to be a tough one for HellRaisers, no matter what.
No, I completely agree. And, you know, this was the map that everyone started to talk about Shocks on primarily. Before he went on that massive turn-up of performance, this was one of the maps you started to see indicators of that before. His lurking ability on the T side became incredibly influential. And then the individual ability decided to just pour through. So, again, a lot of attention at Smiths here. His passive style of warping actually can apply to this map pretty well, but then Oscar is no slouch. He is going to be another big factor, but we are live into the game. G2 will be on the CT side. On the T side will be HellRaisers. And let's see what we have between these 2 giants on this very good map here.
Well, it seems HellRaisers has 2 sets of nades to start working with, and also Oscar has made into the raid boss with that Technon armor combination. It seems as though HellRaisers is taking it slow to start things off, waiting for a potential aggression from G2.
And what an alley of death up mid. You've got Scream and Shocks both just standing there with USPS. Don't peek that, please.
Yes, you could call them the heavy hitters of G2 recently.
Definitely.
Pulling the numbers and trying to get the information, as is Smiths as well. He has already pushed into this long house, but there is a terrorist up close there, so he has to be really, really careful what he does.
And they're completely foregoing any presence on short. They're completely leaving A up to, I guess, either retaking or long presence from RPK and Smiths. They've got Scream and Body completely withdrawn towards B. Shocks playing by CT. Again, not too surprising, but it does put a lot of pressure towards players like RPK and Smiths to do something with it, or just play very well on the retake.
Exactly, yeah. They only have 1 flash to work with, though, for that retake. And the push is coming in from Catwalk, so RPK is going to be in for a treat. Decides to fall back, actually, and it is going to be a full-on retake. It's a 5-on-5. The A-bomb side has been lost to HellRaisers right now. And also, there's a player lurking in middle. One also playing Catwalk, so let's see how G2 manages to take care of this.
No one's paying much dividends to long, which could be a massive problem here. That's allowed RPK complete reign of terror there, finding 0. Now the 3 players on short have to pull back in. They do have a good crossfire in this, but Body catching out. Oscar's not made it easy. Here comes the aim train. It's RPK with that USPS, destroying Angel, follows out towards Bondic, and suddenly Sticker's left in a real tricky spot, gets completely outdone, and what a beautifully clean retake. That is some just sublime aim work from G2 there.
That's when you don't need the grenades. That's when you just keep hitting those headshots. And exactly what happened to RPK with a massive round. Cleaning house. Let's start things off there in that retake, getting those 3 kills. And bomb plant going the way of HellRaisers, as we can see right now, has enabled them to go into a force by Oscar with the scout. Not surprising, is it? He's going to tag Buddy right away.
However, looking over towards G2, how are they forming up in this one? This time, no shock scream combo in mid. They're going for that 3-man play towards long initially, utilize those nades. In case there's that big rush down there, you know, you can see the Tech 9 rush, whatever you want. It works pretty well sometimes. I think Mousesports are quite the advocates for those sort of plays, keeping people so long as much as they can if they can get any investment, but still. Another case for HellRaisers, very much a very similar start to what we saw before almost. Quite passive, seeing if maybe there's that aggression from G2 coming out. Again, the French team's almost revolutionized to some way that you could, you know, always play through those beat tunnels on the CT side. If you lost some mid control, regain it elsewhere on the map. That was maybe, I guess, more existence than anyone at the time. But still, with a lot of these players in that lineup, you can occasionally see it bleeding through. But wondering how now HellRaisers do take themselves into this round. They do need to start getting that map control starting to build for themselves.
Yeah, it is very, very slow right now. HellRaisers hasn't really done all too much at all. They're finally making their way towards the catwalk area, take it over, to enable themselves to do things. But Scream is going to be pushing tunnel to gain that control together with Body. And well, they do get it, so that's going to be information gained by them. And Zero is going to be on that hot seat, gets taken out by Scream as well. With opening kill goes the way of G2.
But I love this. It's given them time to fall back towards this mid to B split that's suddenly come from this. It's always been shown to the T side as this is a possibility, but look who's waiting, and it's actually Shox coming through the smoke, joined by Smith. Scream's dealing with Angel, but he can't handle it. Oscar and Angel do the heavy lifting in this one, but eventually the CT side start to clean up, leaving just Angel alive. 2 kills already, 1 UMP to hand. And he's got 2 players to find, both lining up. The timing could be absolutely perfect, but no! Just second guesses himself, almost the shoulder peek, then the double check from RPK, just in case, will do enough to secure that round. But that got a little bit dangerous towards the end then, and a nice kind of counter read from HellRaisers to make the most of knowing those B players were pushed up. All right, let's get quickly through mid to B, but still, enough damage came in during that time, during that round.
Yeah, well, at least that's going to be some bank taken off of G2. They have to rebuy most of their weaponry going to round number 3, and as you can see, that's going to make HellRaisers buy into this. They have a Scout, an Eagle, and Smith gets a Galil, and already, once again, Oscar tagging in the middle. And he's so good at that too, but Oscar is going to get tagged by himself too, or to himself too as well, so that's a bit of damage done both ways.
But G2 at least find out what kind of buy they're up against. They've heard the rifles now, they've heard the Scout, they kind of know that maybe these SMGs aren't exactly perfect here. They're going to have to depend on the likes of Smiths to do some work. RPK, I guess you could argue, Shox with the UMP. And Nico could give them some tips on that one, especially on Dust2 recently. But yeah, HellRaisers have a lot of time on their hands. They still have enough utility to build anything they want from this. 2 smokes there, one with Bondic and one with Angel, Molly, and they can still go pretty much anywhere they want on this map. You don't need to do the full smoke play to get out on this one, but again, it's going to be a bit tough here. G2 falling back quite passively to the site. Smiths as well, just playing very much deep on this. And again, another fallback for G2, just kind of playing this very deep hold.
Yeah, Smiths is going to be the first one to see something here on catwalk, but he's not going to connect on the shot. Molotoving on Cat to make sure that the HellRaisers players can't just run up Cat. That's going to slow down the round even more. And now still 2 smokes to play with. Like you said, for HellRaisers, so they can smoke off CT spawn if they want to go up Cat. They can smoke off that catwalk area towards that A-bomb site as well if they wanted to, because they know there's an opera playing this A-bomb site, and that could be an issue with them only having 1 flash. But this is classic HellRaisers, by the way. This little run boost coming in. Smith's not ready for it. Stico, though, is not going to be able to work with that Deagle. Angel, in the meanwhile, getting a kill, while Shox managed to get a retaliation, make that too. So now the numbers are even, actually, as the bomb gets planted.
And Smith has been completely bullied off that site. He couldn't handle short. Obviously, the run boost was a little unorthodox, but then he just kind of fell hap-handedly into long, where Shox supporting him perfectly. He's picked up the AWP now, but this is going to be an incredibly hard retake here, but he's making it work. Shox down by Pit, finding one. That's 0 removed. Now it's down to Oscar in a 1v3. He's got a Scout, but only 26 HP. He's going to have to go beast mode here. He's going to find one, but there's not enough to be able to be done by him in the end. And the retake works out again, but Smith, that was a big round for him, if I'm honest. And of course, yeah, the run boost you can't really account for. That is incredibly hard to deal with, but still, even when he adjusted to long, he got completely outdone then.
Yeah, exactly, he did. And now, here's the question for HellRaisers, what did he do? Again, you know economy from G2 is very low, based off of the fact that only 2 survived. Are you going to be forcing into this? And by the looks of things, that's exactly the philosophy that's going to be applied by HellRaisers.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is a dangerous game. I mean,
yeah,
you can obviously turn the tides very quickly, but also get into a downward spiral very soon. And Scream has made his way to the lower tunnel. He's going to get a kill on the Angel. Zero trying for retaliation. He makes it happen, so it's a quick 4-on-4. Always going to be favoring that T side. There's always going to be a gap somewhere on the map to make things slightly easier to attack to. If you choose wisely, obviously.
And just look how passive this play is. This is one thing that Dust2 has kind of slowed down to. It's incredibly tough to watch because it's so much about trying to gather some small pieces of info or getting touches of map control. I mean, you know, most of the time we end up seeing it going, okay, well, building up short, and they're going to take A, and then G2 play retake. But occasionally you've got to understand that the prowess these teams bring, it's with so much discipline in hand. And again, Shock's going to be holding very close to the doors. He's going to hear these steps coming up. Smiths will be the pivotal player here. Unless they turn tail to a mid to be split last minute, which doesn't look like it with Bondic sitting by long for the jump off for a bit of a pinch. It's going to be Smiths and Shocks to really lock this down. Smiths didn't fail last time. Fail is a bit of a strong word. He got outdone in the end, but this is a big testing point, and let's see how he does. Already, steps do start to appear, and it's going to be Sticker going to make it out of the smoke. There we go. Just meeting it with a nice shot to the body. Going to go back for more, doesn't land it, but he does have support in the form of Shocks. He can fall away from this, allow Shocks to just create that lovely bit of crossfire, and he's going to get it absolutely perfectly lined up. Oscar 0, gone, done and dusted. Bondic, a little late to the party here, not able to make the impact he would have liked to through long. Had to pull up towards short. The bomb now left amongst the wolves pretty much, and Bondic, I think it's time to back away from this.
Yeah, at least Smidge manages to delay that attack as long as possible for G2 to get the rotation in. Obviously, Shocks being there and Goose being the last nail in the coffin, getting those massive kills here. We're going to see this front boost one another time. Smidge's definitely not ready for that, which is only fair enough. But yeah, here we see that one kill that Smidge managed to do, but he still slows down at that attack far enough so that becomes doable for HellRaisers. It's going to be Oscar though. Another attack in middle of that AWP.
Must be getting sick of tagging them by now, if I'm honest. It's been Body almost every time as well, crossing over towards that B site. So
must be fun.
Yeah, Body's having a great time as well. Just going, please don't rush me. I really can't be asked with that. It'd be really nice if you don't.
May as well start with 25 HP every round. Why not?
Why not at this point? It's so consistent. But again, just keeping our eyes on how this one's forming up. Nothing too different here. Wondering how they want to adapt this, how they're going to try and get past maybe Smiths if they feel he's becoming a bit of an issue. This round doesn't seem as though it's going to be much. Maybe they can do the run boost again. They've invested pretty heavily, but nothing, too much at the end. But it's still the Eagles. It still take 9. So it looks like we're going to be run boosting in towards a bait almost to allow the Orpa box to go to be able to check the corner. Nothing there. Quick peek up. Okay, back away. This is a very weirdly played out round.
Becomes an HR thing by now. Run boosting every single position. Now you're probably going to run boost a B split. Why not? Who needs a smoke when he can run boost? Angel taking the angle. He sees one there. Scream taking a peek by jumping in window. And the body has come through the door. He's going to be able to make the kills happen. He gets one, but gets traded by Bondic. And the push is coming in, and Scream is getting sandwiched. Oscar with the kill, so things are looking very good for HellRaisers right now. And G2 with the numbers. Well, now they are equalized, but still it's going to be a B retake.
Yeah, great timing on the push then from the T side, making them push and pull to each side of things, but they don't expect RPK to come around that far, and Angel just gets completely caught out, leaving it down to Bondic and Zero. And this is actually going to get a little bit tough now, though limited utility on the CT side to play this out. Still a flash and a molly, one being used. And Bondic watching eyes towards the tunnel, misses the shot. RPK punishes. Now it's Zero on the point itself, gets raked. RPK, this is the player that Vendetta absolutely loves to see turning up, because you see your heavy hitters, but then let's say you fill out the rest of that roster with consistency, with powerful retakes. You've got an incredibly deadly team.
Yeah, I mean, RPK came back, what, I would say 14 months ago, 15 months ago maybe. And, it's been a bit of a struggle for him for most of that time, to be honest with you. And he's finally starting to find form and being a force to be reckoned with. And this is really frustrating, by the way, for HellRaisers, because they're so close from breaking the economy for G2. Just not managing to do it. Now, finally, it's going to be G2 actually building a little bit of bank. And they are in a 5-0 lead, but since they've lost so many rounds in a row, they get the bomb plant. It also means that HellRaisers will manage to get into a full buy.
And hopefully for HellRaisers, there's more to them than just run boosting peaks towards short. I'm really hoping now that they have enough to build.
I think we've established that they can do that.
Yeah, we've worked that out. I hope there's more, because now they've got utility, right? They've got the smokes and the mollies to be able to build something around it without having to fall back to that. Of course, you can still do it, but Smith is actually playing a little bit more of a close-up angle, so tries to go for the little peek towards short, gets the information, And Shock's playing by the barrels. And to be fair, the thing is that position is such a pain in the ass, but for a player like him with aim like he has, he can probably make it more than just a one and done. Normally it is a one and done. You can't really fall away from it too comfortably, but now it's allowed to...
Well,
What?
Smith's...
Did he just fall off the ledge?
Yeah, I think he did. Slippery edge. His toe slipped. In the meanwhile, though, HellRaisers are building for an A split. It's quite obvious at this point. RPK is going to see Angel, but taken down by him too. Now it's going to go on Spitz on this side. He's going to be under immense pressure from both sides. Gets pressured into that goose corner right now. There's one teammate coming out. Spitz though with a nice shot before taken out by Oscar, and now it's going to be on Shocks. I've seen him do magical things recently. Is he going to make one another? Well, he's not going to be able to. Stico gets the kill.
And reminding ourselves, Scream and Body have no flashes, nothing else to build in towards this retake, but they're still pretty present in this one. Oscar's pulled himself up towards the cars, watching that cross like a hawk, denies Scream, there's Stico to take down Body. So comfortably done in the end, but it's been a long time in the making. They're 5-1 at the moment. The scoreline's, you know, pretty one-sided at this point, but Smith's a bit of an error in that round, falling off short then and kind of making Shock's move as well. It kind of screwed that whole A-hold up for a good bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you could say noobish, but those things happen.
That's just mean, you know.
You know, it's a word. But words can hurt, I know. Now RPK gets boosted up here in short, trying to get some early info on lower tunnel. Angel's going to be there, and RPK says, thank you. I will take that frag. And fall back afterwards to get the early advantage. He's actually going to have, I think, Shocks in the tunnels. Yep. They are relentless with this pushing right now, and HellRaisers has no idea, obviously. Or Zero has no idea this is even coming, but actually Shocks not managing to see Zero there. Decides to fall back.
That's going to be a weird exchange.
Yeah, this could be intriguing right now because Zero is actually making its way to lower tunnel. The question is if he's going to be checking that corner right now. Nope, he's
oh
not.
My
Hello.
God.
Shock says thank you again as well. He's going to get a free kill onto that one.
In case Shocks needed any more kills.
Yeah, well, I mean, just give him freebies. Why not?
All right, this is better for Smith. This is nice. There we go. Giving him an angle to play with support from RPK on the site. They shot down that long attempt coming out from HellRaisers.
This is the time you take a timeout on your HellRaisers, just to try to make things, as we can see this awkward moment. Why don't you take out a knife? Come on, Shocks. Don't you have the balls for that?
Wow, you're flaming today. You're just being mean, dude. I'm just saying. But again, you are onto a point here. Timeouts have got to be considered pretty soon. Again, they can go to the Deagles and P250s to take their time to talk about it here. This is, I would argue, a throwaway round. And when Scream's getting confident and making picks, or plays like that, it does get a little bit worrying.
Yeah, I mean, just to about it, because there's a lot of rounds to be played with. Basically, half of this half is still to be played.
Yeah.
And these rounds they've lost are kind of been frustrating. This is so being on the verge for a lot of them. But, well, apparently they don't feel like they need one. They are saving in this round. Maybe they're choking things through while they are saving, so that could work just as well. And
there's always the danger of when these rounds are so close, you start blaming it on other... I thought that was a deagle then, oh my god. I was about to say, you may start saying, oh, it's just unlucky, or there's a couple of moments we could have just maybe hit our shots on, and these kind of moments maybe could be better explained by other things. Oscar's going to at least make it mildly costly by taking down Shocks, but not by much. So this is where you'd either expect the timeout or hope they fix something during that time in this. No, they can buy up, I was about to say.
Yeah, well, I think if they lose this one in a manner where they can't really make things happen, then, I mean, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because you are so close from winning rounds, so fundamentally your things you're doing are kind of working, but then you just can't clinch it, as Oscar's going to open things up, by the way. No attack this time, it's going to be an actual frag.
Oh, and look at the aggression as well coming out long. This is a big difference. HellRaisers have picked up the pace. This was the discussion. It's worked out. Zero breaks in towards long, but he can't follow up towards RPK. Still the immovable object on long. Stands tall, takes down Stico as well. This guy's doing some serious damage here, but they haven't retained the advantage. Bear in mind, Smiths and Scream being the last two standing. It's not going well. Oscar has been doing some good work here. Already taking down Body on that cross towards B, then just following up with that. It's left Scream in a real predicament. And again, also HellRaisers, bearing in mind Scream has been a dedicated B player to this point. Will they maybe assume he's still going to be locked out on that rotate, where actually he's on long, so he might have to come up against Oscar, who's got an incredible advantage with the AWP, but still, this gives a chance of something, but such a small margin, and the bomb's now planted.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things would have to go horribly wrong for HellRaisers for this to be possible. for Scream to win it. Now he is just out of position. Probably try to get some exit kills is the best he can hope for to make this as expensive for HellRaisers as possible. Because their money obviously is as we can see right now, it's not good. They will have to drop weapons for these two players, but if they get even one more kill, that means that one of the players will have to make some kind of a compromise in their buy.
It's the two beasts at the moment. Going to go head-to-head on this one. I don't know if he caught a glimpse. Maybe his shoulder then. Doesn't matter. Oscar's quicker on the trigger, and there you have it. Oscar will find 3 that round. And I guess there's a big difference in 2 aspects. 1, Oscar actually killed body flat out that time rather than the tag. 2, the aggression on long worked out until RPK traded into it. But then by that point already HellRaisers were up players. They could easily make the play through it. And I'm hoping we see a bit of that quicker pace coming in as well. I actually really like that from HellRaisers.
Yeah, well, they have the spawns that time around, so obviously it's easier to make that call. It's super hard to rush long if you don't have the spawns, right? But they are opting to be a little bit more passive since they didn't have those long spawns. They are all bunched up in middle, though. That's slightly different. They've always had a player towards tunnels. This time they don't. They're smoking up Xbox, and they have one player already out through the catwalk, but Scream fully blind with those 2 kills. It's just going to nullify that idea from HellRaisers. They wanted to have 2 push through middle doors, and now it's all long gone.
Shattered in one blink of an eye. Shox now can take over the role. He can sit there and be the linchpin in this, leaving the 2 players to either side. Scream, of course, supporting him, but by now HellRaisers have got to be left scratching their heads. They didn't really give that one away. That was just, if you line up in mid after doing a really open pop flash like that, why not go for a bit of a spray? Scream was completely blind as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a coincidence, really, that he was there and he had that burst and he got those kills. I mean, one of those little miracle runs that is going to be super demoralizing for HellRaisers. RPK, it's going to be on a flank from long as the bomb is making its way towards the bomb side right now. Oscar, a nice kill, gets dinked by Scream. It's going to be bodied, though, to clean things up here. Before comes Oscar with 10 HP left in a 1-on-3, though. And that's all she wrote for Oscar. Shox comes in and gets that kill.
Yeah, and if we press tab when we get a second, when we go into game, there's, I'd say 2 carries. There's one predominantly for one side more than the other. Oscar 12-8, and the others 2-4, 2-2.
That's ridiculous in so many ways.
And this is actually something the analysis was saying, that, yeah, Oscar can be a big impact. If he turns up, then we've got a competitive game. Sadly, no one else is turning up. Like, this is not enough for HellRaisers. And on the other side, sure, okay, RPK is very much at the top, but everyone else is operating. Everyone's doing their job to a degree of some variety. For HellRaisers, that's not good enough. I'm sorry, but you've got a team of a lot of potential, a lot of big hitters. Okay, maybe not Oscar level, I guess if you want to look at it that way. But you've got players like Bondic here. You've got, Angel. These are classics.
As well.
Stico, a young talent that everyone's been looking at, or like a newer talent, I guess. You're coming in. Where's he been in this? RPK might just get run boosted here, though. Please, just one tap him in the head. Please, RPK, just don't let it happen.
Well, they fall back from it because the smoke coming in. So I guess in a way your wish got granted. The run boost didn't happen. But surprise, surprise, there's another one happening for your delight.
Oh.
An Angel's gonna go flying in like an angel and gets wrecked by Smith.
Smith sends him straight to hell, and I'm really pleased about that. Scream, just look at these headshots. It's disgustingly beautiful to watch. This guy's aim is ridiculous. I don't care it's against an eco. It's just nice to watch. At the moment, it doesn't matter if they're against an eco at the moment. 9-2. This is gross. Oh, thank you for just looking away from that rush. I appreciate that. That's a kindness. Scream with 1 bullet then at the end. He had 2 bullets left in the clip, and one of those went into the brain of the opponent. So 9-2. I don't know what to say about here. It looks like HellRaisers have run out of steam. Really, they just.
It's just been the early rounds where there was a couple of rounds that were super close, but ever since then, just been G2 dictating plays 0 now. Should be in prime position. He gets 1, make that 2. Both B players going down, but there's a third one. Surprise, surprise. It's going to be Scream. And he's going to still make this doable. Though RPK are going to get wrecked by Bondic to make it a 4-on-2. So now the situation heavily favors HellRaisers. And now what they need to do is just group up and go somewhere together. Make sure you're going to be trading kills. Don't give away any kills before you do that, please.
And Zero pretty much went from 0 to hero in that round. The reason that they've got a good shot at this was that greeting at B, just waiting ever so patiently behind the pillar. But, as you said, they need to play this correctly because you've got the 2 assassins left, right? You've got Scream and Shox. So you don't want to mess this up. And they've got not the best crossfire in the world, but something that actually can complement each other well enough. And you can see the hesitation on HellRaisers. They're in a 4v2, and they are taking their sweet time. Would Would G2 dare go for information plays? Probably not. That's
No,
too
just-
brazen.
Just
So
bunch up.
here we go, Shocks. Oh god, it's not started well. Here we go. Scream finds Oscar. If they go 1 by 1, they will fall 1 by 1. There is no two ways about it. But they found a weakness, an opening, a chance, a possibility that I'm hoping that they take here. And that's in the form of Angel finding some room at B. Bombs en route. Bondic playing the bait game by A. I think he's been heard as well. Shocks on the prowl. Sprays in. 1 by 1, they fall again. Oh god, Screams. Screams played it so well. He completely read it like a book, and now it's down to a 1v1. This is insane play
8
between those
seconds.
two players. And look at this, the time, 6-5. It's done, it's dusted. That is absolutely brilliant stuff from G2, just splitting them apart. And HellRaisers overthinking it, overreading it, playing it like absolute chumps at that point. G2 make it to 10.
What a bunch of plebs.
That was
Honestly, 4 and 2, you literally just run 1 by 1 everywhere on the map. What is wrong with you? Why don't you just bunch up and choose a direction? There's 3 to choose from: middle, long, or B. Go.
scared.
Jesus.
Dust2's done. He's absolutely done with this. And I can't blame you. That sort of play at this level,
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's a freaking major qualifier.
it's not like it's a random event. It's not just a fun LAN. It's not just an online practice. This is events where you should be... This should be fundamental to you. That sort of stuff is fundamental.
Yeah.
It's very basic. It's when you become incredibly frustrated when you're a player going, how did we just lose a 4-on-2? Because you just shouldn't.
I mean, they even have a coach. He should be saying, okay, boys, just bunch up, just choose somewhere you go. Maybe catwalk, just go up there, go together, trade that 1 kill, and then you know it's going to be a 3-on-1 at worst.
Yep.
At worst. But instead, okay, let's move along.
Otherwise, sadness will
my
ensue.
day is just going to be totally ruined here. It is just going to be
Oh.
one closer for G2.
Yep.
Taking this, they are 10-2 up here. There's an AWP in Galil implied by HellRaisers. They have 2 Deagles and a Tech 9. Still a smoke, 2 smokes, and another run boost for our delight coming up here. Oscar's going to be
Smith.
flying away. Whee! And that doesn't get a kill.
I don't buy into gimmick plays when your defaults and your fundamentals don't work. I think it's actually a really cool addition when when you throw it in there every now and then as like a dash, but as a fundamental to get towards the A side, it's probably not something you should be depending upon, but someone you can depend on is Oscar at the moment. He's the only one, 2 kills as he made his way towards platform, 2 more to find, and he's going beast mode. He gets the tag on Scream, but that's not enough. RPK's there waiting, and again, G2 weather the storm. HellRaisers, please. This is meant to be a good game. This is meant to be close. This was meant to be good CS, and this is not what we're seeing at the moment.
Well, definitely not, judging from the scoreboard. It's 11-2, isn't it? So, G2 was...
You sounded like my parents when they're disappointed at me. Well, evidently not, Lauren, is it? No, it's not a good game. You proud of yourself here? No, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm not.
Yeah, so many half-buys as well for HellRaisers once again. It's going to be 1 AK and a bunch of other weapons to go along with that. Mr. Stico already made its way up on catwalk. It's probably the fastest we've seen so far in this match. It's going to actually apply some pressure on top of that A bomb side. But there's 3 CTs this time around playing this bomb side, and there's going to be 1 in CT spawn. So it seems like it's going to be a split coming in from HellRaisers.
Yeah. And Oscar was already positioned at the tiles. This could be quite nice. If Body doesn't account for Oscar or even consider that there could be a possibility of this, it could make it quite difficult. But actually, he already catches out Bondic and sends Angel back, and Smith just finds him anyway. And now Oscar left in the same predicament. How many times are we going to see it? The last man alive gets a couple of kills and then crumbles. And this is no discredit to G2. They're handling it well. They're playing to their own level, not their opponents, and they're keeping these rounds very clean, very concise. That is, absolutely, again, no discredit to G2 for winning these rounds. I just expected HellRaisers to bring more. Like, Oscar's performing. Oscar's doing what I thought he might. He was outdoing Smith at the start. Great stuff. But then where's the support? Where's the rest of these big players coming to the forefront? I'm just hoping that maybe they can rebound or do something better on the CT side, but by this point, they have nothing to do.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single, a proper catwalk push from them where they have all the grenades they could use, like all the smokes, all the flashes, the molotovs, to really make it uncomfortable for Smiths and Shocks on that side. Instead, it's always been a bit of a force buy, a bit of a half buy, having half of those equipments to still give that room for Smiths and Shocks to work on that bomb site. Because HellRaisers is actually really good at that too. Like, they have some really good pushes where they either jump into the spawn or just jump on that ramp towards a bomb site. But we've already seen a trade of kills here going on, and a 4-on-4 situation should be in favor of the terrorist side.
Should. And I'll stick to should until I see it actually working out. Smith is the one who's going to be waiting down by the cars again on the cross. He didn't do so well in the opening rounds during this, but now they're lining up for him. One by one they go, and one by one they're not actually falling this time. Smith again not really hitting these shots as well as I'd kind of hoped. That's a good one. Zero's done. Bondic and Sticko left to try and piece this one back together. Sticko's going to fall back towards short, try and get ready for that after plant. But already Body catches him out, so it's left just Bondic on the site. A name that I felt I haven't even had to save this game, and well, he gets a 1-1 trade, and it's not enough. This is a very, very excruciating half for HellRaisers, and a good one for G2.
Well, that's pretty much all you can say, isn't it? Oscar sitting at 16, and the next most frags for HellRaisers is 7. Everyone else is sitting at 4 and 3. So, yeah.
Okay, so while we untrigger ourselves, we're going to go to short break. So guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back to what is not exactly the thriller that we expected. Everyone was getting hyped up about this matchup, but 13-2 is a bit of a travesty, if I'm honest, compared to what this game should have provided. And sadly, HellRaisers on the receiving end of this one. 2 rounds so far.
It's been more like a party pooper, if anything, to be honest with you. We had high hopes that Oscar is going to try to take things to his own matters, or hands, I guess, but gets demolished by Shocks. And it's going to be another opportunity for G2 to play with. 5-on-4 early advantage for G2.
I actually do quite like this close mid-hold in a way, though. I like the way they had 4 players very present on this, but now they have to be able to just land the shots because that Glock train is coming to the station and RPK is at the forefront of it. There we go. That's the Angel we want to start seeing. Can we get any more from him, though? Now Scream surrounded on both fronts, and it's going to be Smith's left in the 1v3. Smith's coming in towards the site, gets absolutely trashed. There we go. That's...
Wow.
The Angel that I hoped we'd seen earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Angel basically single-handedly just stopping the push choo-choo train there through middle doors. I mean, 3 turrets with Glocks coming in, and he somehow manages to get rid of all of them, I think, and still surviving throughout the round. It could have been ending for him in just a matter of a second there, but he does survive. As you can see now, G2 decides to force into this round number 2. Eagles in play, Tech 9, and one smoke and a flash as well. A lot of damage being taken by G2 players.
Yeah, and HellRaisers again putting incredible amounts of focus. Brilliant stuff from Oscar towards mid. Oscar, hello, that's a second. We're going to make it a third here. Scream's next in line. fancy a beheading if you walk through those doors at this point. And again, support comes into place, but it was the one-man show, and that show doesn't seem to be over yet. But he does seem to have a couple of co-stars coming in to at least help him out on this. But HellRaisers, every round is pretty much do or die for them. There's such little buffer here.
No, definitely.
They just kind of have to go all out on these. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more fire from the HellRaisers boys.
Well, G2 not managing to pick up a single kill in that force buy now, having to save this round number 3 of the second half. Oscar is taking matters to his own hands, just pushing middle casually with a scout, because why not? Also Stico here in catwalk, making a peek lower tunnel, so aggressive angle. I said it, HellRaisers likes to be very aggressive on the city side. We'll probably see Angel pushing up from catwalk as well a bunch of times in the early rounds and pushes to tunnels, but as we can see right now in the minimap, most of G2 are bunched up on long. The bomb as well. RPK is making a little bit of noise here in mid, but it's going to be Oscar taking care of him, and Bondic is going to be the one seeing plenty of these G2 members coming up. It's going to be a nice nade kill and a kill with the FAMAS as well. Just take a bunch of damage, but doesn't really matter. It's going to be 2 remaining for G2.
Yep. Good work from HellRaisers. Nice clean rounds, build up the economy as best they can. Not really going to mess around too much on the likes of the SMG. A bit of an extended fight at the end then, but cleared it up. So, those first 3 rounds, losing only 2 players throughout the entirety of them. So again, that's the sort of bank you want to be building up, especially if you're not depending on the SMGs coming through early on. You went straight in for the rifles, even though they're not ideal. The FAMASs, they do enough. Please don't stick on them now. I know that they've got a little bit of buffer, but I don't know if I'm all on board with this.
Ooh, Smith's taking a bunch of damage already from that scout off Oscar. And, well, 4 smokes in play for G2, so there are opportunities for them to be taken. 3 coming through lower tunnels, 2 middle, applying pressure on Oscar. Straight away, they're smoking off CT spawn, but there's 2 more CTs playing towards the B-bomb side as well. So this should be a hard push here through middle if they want to commit to it, and they are. They get totally blinded. Angel with a kill, but Shocks with the trade. And all of a sudden, it becomes doable for G2.
Zero's flash then a little late, but it does eventually connect, and Oscar plows through the smoke right in the back lines, but the 2 players pinching towards the site had a chance at really doing damage, but they didn't get it done. Smith's the only one to find Zero, but that was too late in the day. Now he's left in a 1v2, takes the fight, or looks for the fight, and he gets it. Bondic, what are you doing? Why are you just jumping the window? Then again, Oscar pushed in as well, and Smith's actually is considering that. He's going, why the hell would anyone else do that? So now, Oscar, who's been playing brilliant CS for his team, up against Smiths, who's had a bit of a slower start to things, but still, Smiths on 22 HP, actively looking for this. Gets a tag, and now they're both pretty much even here. Molly goes down, and he just walks into him! Smiths just had to stand there and wait, and he gets the job done. G2, given so many opportunities to get these rounds in.
Yeah, and off of a very standard, like a very, you could say, straight-up push from G2 as well. Playing 3 through lower tunnels into middle, applying pressure into Oscar right away, just going for the peep split, not giving anything really, and eventually, yeah, that's gonna be Smiths with that 1-on-2 Bondic just pushing through the window. I think they had the idea of both pushing in simultaneously, but Oscar getting stuck in the smoke as Bondic died, but it's already going to be a long push coming from G2, and Bondic's going to be the one on hot seat right now. Into the middle of this long is going to be anything, just a lot of damage, but no kills for him at all. But look at this Black Stico already. He manages to down the bomb. That grenade's going to line onto Scream, but not getting a kill from it. But it's a 3-on-3 situation. Health advantage is massive for HellRaisers still.
HellRaisers should have this, but then again, the double AWP in play makes it pretty difficult on occasion, but as G2 don't have themselves in the sights, they're just going on a massive walkabout here. I'm wondering when that's going to start sinking in. Angel's kind of, I guess, jiggle peeking down by long if I check in with him. He's holding the angle, so I'm guessing they're just going to play for the retake on B then.
Yeah, no smoke for G2, so they can't smoke doors or window. They have a Molotov on Spitz, but that's all they have.
Would you put that down as to allow yourself to cleanly cross, or now obviously not?
Zero in the site. He should be able to take these kills here. Yep, he's going to get that one, but Body with the nice trade. Gives his team an opportunity here. Let's do the ops of Oscar and Angel still in play. Oscar waiting for that early angle. Oh, he's going to get that kill too. Oscar with that headshot casually on the body, but Scream with another one-tap to make it a 1-on-1. Just 15 HP left. Angel with 100. He's going to take out a pistol. I think they know he's low, but Scream, being Scream, is going to get another headshot with another clutch for his team. And it's going to take his team to a match point.
Oh, Scream. What
Anything
can
to
you
add?
do? No. No. Just Scream. He was down to under like 20 HP, and you can still depend on him to hit shots like that, so it almost negates it. That's just... Hello? Angel? Angel's having a really off game. This is not the Angel that I expected. You know, the pistol round was good from him, but outside of that, this has been incredibly sloppy. So, operating at a loss already with limited weapons and limited utility. Limited time to turn this one around. They're doing work now. Why is it now that you wake up, HellRaisers? There's a little bit of a gap in that smoke that Bondik's looking to try and exploit. He can't get it to connect though. And RPK finds Oscar. That's your heavy carry gone pretty much at this point, as it's going to be down to a 3v3. But Scream's low again. And I don't know if we can ask so much of one man, but Sticker's going to try and make the most that he can while he has a chance to get amongst them, and they do the job in the end. So, relatively good round from Sticker there. 4 kills again.
Yeah. At least picking him one round at least, but not sure if that's going to be anything enough to get back into this. G2 so far just seems to win the rounds that they're obviously favored in, but also rounds that they're not even closely or remotely being favored in. As you can see, money is still an issue for HellRaisers aside, and well, G2 does have the eco, so this could be an opportunity for them to clean the house. Let's see how it works for them.
Just going to be playing straight through mid. I think they just want to get this one over with pretty much. 15-6, just run at them. And nothing.
Samurai style.
Really is. Just get it over and done with. They want to get back towards being able to buy here. What's their money like, actually? It's okay now. Not great,
Not
actually.
great at
Yeah,
all,
I was
no.
about to say, they can't even
Tech9's
can't look for much.
Tech9s and armors are probably in order right now.
Yep.
They can get some smokes, they can make a catwalk push maybe, an ace split maybe. You know, try to get some close range battles.
Plenty of options coming through.
Scream is just going with the deagle in middle.
Looks like he's just going to be holding along at this point, see if anyone pushes up. Shoxy.
Finding the right channel, is he?
Just looking for it. It's difficult, you know. But smoke goes down. Just blocking off mid so they can make their way up short. It's actually quite a nice play. It gives a bit of a offset to timing. They don't have to do it from spawn. They can do it down there from long. And Oscar is the one to be waiting. Now, Smiths didn't have the best of times holding this sort of angle. You'd assume maybe Oscar would do a little better here. But again, see how it goes. There we go. Straight low. Lovely timing on the second flash, then baiting him into the peak almost. Now Oscar has to back away from this. He's going to give the side control completely over to the T side. Sticker's going to get up there real up close and personal, but he needs to land these shots, and already the bomb's been planted, but the kills start pouring in, and they clean house. Not losing a single player, upgrading some pistols, and they will get the defuse.
Yeah, well, a bomb gets planted from G2, so that's pretty much their mission accomplished for this round. Slight investment. Wow, Stico. That's PM. Slight investment is enough for them to get that bomb plant. Now they have to up and play that everything they would like to. They have 7 match points to play with as well.
And the score, I'm hoping the scoreline isn't going to end up being deceiving in a way, because 15-8 doesn't actually sound too bad, but then, I don't know, we'll see how this ends up for now. As Smith's waiting for the extended peek from Oscar, and that is a massive player now missing from the HellRaisers side. It's down to G2 to exploit that.
Exactly. He's done most of the work, hasn't he? So far, G2 just decides to slow things down even though they get the first pick. Just waiting for any possible retaliation push from HellRaisers. Well, they're not really going to get anything. So they have left A side open, putting heavy emphasis on middle and B. Just having one player, that being Bonding on long. So it's a viable option on Dust2. Just leave that catwalk open and let him have it, and then just play for the retake.
1 minute 10 to go. Big round here for HellRaisers. It's generally been Angel and Stick who've been doing any sort of additional work to the Oscar performance so far. So for those two, it's going to be down to them, and they were the two players kind of pinching towards mid, holding that crossfire. Sticker has back to weight. Smith slowly building up towards Cat. And there you go, Sticker falls all the way back. He's watching the car cross at the moment. Kind of taking up, I guess, the role of Oscar in this sort of push, but again, not exactly ideal with an AK, but you can be doing some work with it. A lot of smoke and a lot of tension towards mid here. Bodies could be splitting through it. Where are they going on this one? This is quite a curious play. They're just in CT. All right, that's interesting enough, and no one's there because they're playing from the other side. So it's going to end up being a B split.
Yeah, they wanted to kill one there, but they're going to find Angel here. He gets a kill, but probably not going to get more. He's not 0, though. He's in action right now. But it's going to be a flurry of kills going the way of G2. It's all down to Bondic now. In a 1-on-3 situation, the bomb can implant. I think I dare to say this is pretty much over at this point.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Bondic would have to go pretty much superhuman at this point, and he's not exactly been one of the forefront runners for HellRaisers.
Definitely not.
And Scream, not sure if he actually caught a peek of him just doing the hop up and above, but doesn't really matter anyway. Scream's going to have the angle. He might be able to see a glimpse of him beforehand, and there it is. So Bondic does get a good tag. Has to go for this. That's a good kill towards Shox. Follows it up towards RPK, but he can't do the last bit of work. Scream takes him down on 13 HP, and it doesn't matter what HP that man's on. He can still do so much work. And there you have it. In the end, 16-8. G2 just rolling over HellRaisers.
Yep, G2 in a league of their own compared to HellRaisers. Today has to be said, and I mean, it was the early few rounds where HellRaisers had their opportunities. They could have done things. They could have possibly turned the tides with economy going their favor. But yeah, just G2 winning on the clutches, basically, in situations that were not even necessarily favoring them. And yep, just great play by G2.
Yep, simple as that. A bit of a shame that we didn't see more from HellRaisers. I think that a lot of people expected a bigger impact into that, maybe not a victory, but on this map you thought it may be an even playing field to some degree, that you could see one of those greater battles going down. Smiths, of course, having to take on Oscar. Oscar holding his own throughout that game, I'd say. Sadly, the others were a little late to warm up. The second half started to look better, but just not quite good enough. So again,
I believe I've heard a term called Elo Hell.
You saying that's Oscar right now?
Yes. That is Oscar right now, isn't it?
This is my life. I've made my choices. But no, that's a shame, because there's a lot of potential in the HellRaisers lineup that everyone sees. So we're hoping we get to see more of that down the line. At the moment, not a good game for them. They need to just either move the hell on from that. I don't know how you get over losses like that, because that's just incredibly frustrating. But that's what they need to do. And for G2, a good performance.
Indeed, yeah. And the individual, the players, and especially Scream, who was there on the stage. We're going to go straight into this interview.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Scream as well, and look, probably not a heck of a lot to say about this game, dude. Even yesterday was probably a similar story. But let's just start with this one. It definitely felt like you guys were playing your own style. I don't really think you had to read too much into what HellRaisers were doing. Do you think that's a fair assumption to make?
Well, we haven't played good, like, that was our best city side we played on Dust2, I think. We just played amazing, perfect calls, and everyone hit their shots, so it was a perfect side, and I'm happy about it.
We obviously saw that HellRaisers did see Oscar performing relatively well, but that's just one player in 5. When you do see strong individual performances like that, do you really go to any extra effort to try and shut down an individual player, or do you just say, okay, he's fragging, we've got to deal with him, but just keep going with their own style?
I mean, no, we didn't even care. I mean, he's the sniper of the team, so obviously he played the best in the team because it's Dust2. And I mean, they play a lot around him, so he has to have a lot of kills. But yeah, I mean, yeah, no.
Fair enough, dude. I mean, let's talk briefly about Smiths as well. A little bit quiet yesterday. Obviously, it was cashed as well. Dust2 definitely gives him more opportunities to do work as well. Do you guys definitely feeling like he's feeling a bit more upbeat today? It definitely shows in his performance. Do you sort of feel like he's on form a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. Smith is really good on Dust2 as well. It's like his best map ever. So I have no doubt he can be like he made us win this game. So I'm really happy for him.
Well, so are we, and for you guys as well. Good stuff, Adil. Thank you for joining me here on the stage as well. And G2, of course, are going to be going 2-0 tomorrow. They'll be able to play for their chance to qualify for ESL One Cologne. They are one game away, and HellRaisers can still make it. Got a little bit of work to do before they get there, though, as well. Alex, I tried to get what I could out of that one there as well. It's not even that Scream didn't have much to say. It's just that there's not a heck of a lot to really delve into here. But we're going to let you try and do it anyway.
Cheers, Mitch. Yeah, the Belgian Bulldozer often has quite a reserved attitude to interviews. It's like, well, it's easy game, one tap, one kill. I play games, I win games. Thank you very much. But no, generally we did see good stuff from G2, and it's a positive sign just knowing that not only could they qualify for the major in one game, they're in a very exclusive club right now, in fact the only team to be sitting on 2 wins, 0 losses, but also that we've said that they're playing like a top 5 team, or at least Halvor has, and I'm certainly nodding my head to it. that's really promising to see they could get to the major just off of the back of 3 wins, like the best result they could get in a qualifier. These guys look good right now, Hal.
Absolutely, especially when you think about the past they've had with qualifiers and everything. Oh well, they've made it through the qualifiers, but they've had, they've been shaky for so long, and now we've actually seen quite an extended run from their side where their form is seemingly just improving and improving. So really fun to see, and I think Scream put it nicely. That was probably the best CT side we've seen from G2 on Dust2 in quite a while. The aggression was working out very nicely. They were actually taking, I guess, a bit of a different route. Normally, you'd see players like Scream or Shox have that, what you've dubbed as the Shoxy push, right? When you push up catwalk and kind of just go until you run into someone. They were a bit more methodical about how they pushed and how they went aggressive this time around, and it just worked out perfectly because it never really felt like HellRaisers were in control of the tempo really, or had the map control on the G side.
And I mean, you kind of called it, Vince. I hate to kind of return to that point. You've said it at the pre-show, you said it in the pre-match, and lo and behold, the prophecy is true. Oscar turned up, and you knew that was coming.
He's one of the most consistent players in Counter-Strike right now. He's done it at LANs, he's done it online, he doesn't bow down, he doesn't have poor maps. He's always there. I think he nearly got 30 kills again, and his team got rinsed in the end. So we said the parameters are Oscar needs to perform, and he needs at least one player to step up with him. No one really did. Hence he loses. So it's kind of, we called this as being the keys to success, and they only had a couple of keys on them.
I have to be honest, I do really like the kind of counter boost, the run boost thing, just because it looks cool. But we just didn't see any of those approaches work. Swinging in
when
with
it
Eagles.
works, that's what's going to stick in your mind, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like if you do it like
totally
100 times, it works that once. But oof,
I'm just waiting for someone to pick a scout up. I said this to Halvard before.
Yeah.
Pick a scout up, get boosted, wreck someone in midair.
like 360 kind of
Yeah,
no-scope
like
them.
instantly rage quit. Easy game.
Just slash quitting console.
Yep.
Yeah,
Done.
right. Well, that's it, guys. We have once again concluded our 5th match actually of the day, and this does mean that we are starting the winners games with a bang. G2 now 2-0, and we start the rest looking to see who will join them in that 2-0 club. Our next game is between Flipside and FaZe, and it promises to be a spectacular affair to see if Flipside can once again continue this trend of not missing a single major, or if FaZe can get back and replicate what they did at Cluj-Napoca. Let's take a break then, and we'll be back with this qualifier.